HTC delays the launch of its VR headset Vive. Yahoo is not letting go of its stake in Alibaba. Apple wants you to buy a crazy powerful speaker, and more. It's Wednesday, December 9th, and this is Crunch Report. Hey everybody, Crunch Report coming to you from WeWork's Moorgate offices in London this time. WeWork has a few different locations, but the Moorgate office is about 7 floors of pure goodness. About 3,000 people work out of here. It is pretty posh. Let's get into the news though. The WLA Phantom speaker, which launched last year, is a very, very cool machine that's also very expensive. There are 2 versions, a 750-watt 99-decibel Phantom for just under $2,000, and then the 3,000-watt 105-decibel Phantom Silver for about $2,390. Starting today, you can pick either one up at 14 different Apple stores in the US. Now, audio buffs in the comment section of our article are already arguing with each other about whether or not some of these audio specs even make sense. However, everybody agrees these are fancy speakers. They have omnidirectional sound. It can fill even large rooms, even though they're quite small. And you can stream to them wirelessly from several music services or plug into an optical cord. WLA has scored over 77 patents and 37 awards for sound and design since they first launched amplifiers back in 2010. And Ramon Salzman, WLA's product manager, tells Josh Constein that this is just the short-term phase of a bigger partnership with Apple. Very interesting. The 14 stores break down like this: 5 in New York, 2 in Los Angeles, and 1 in San Francisco, Palo Alto, Portland, Chicago, Dallas, Miami, and Washington, D.C. WLA will have to give Apple a solid chunk of revenue from in-Apple store sales in exchange for all the foot traffic, but you know, 'tis the season for big retail sales. I'm sure it's worth it. HTC has been a bit mum on when exactly it plans to release its virtual reality headset, the Vive. Till now, anyway. In an email to Vive developers and then in a blog post that got completely hammered due to traffic, HTC wrote, "We will be starting the new year by making an additional 7,000 units available to developers, followed by commercial availability in April of 2016. So that's a little later than HTC's original plan for Q1 of 2016, but not too much. But time is also of the essence here. The market's getting kind of saturated. We've got the Gear VR, we've got the Oculus prototypes, we've got Sony's PlayStation VR, and the Vive feels a little clunky in comparison. There's a wire dangling from your head. Some people really don't like that. You have to put a few sensors around your room to handle the tracking. Some people aren't going to do that. And a delay in getting it to consumers doesn't really help either." Twitter may be ready to let its users read tweets in an order besides reverse chronological order, with the newest tweet that's always at the top, which is how Twitter's been structured since day one. Some users are already noticing a new view option that sort of got switched on by accident of some kind. And in Twitter's Q2 earnings call, CEO Jack Dorsey said, "You will see us continue to question our reverse chronological timeline and all the work it takes to build one by finding and following accounts through experiences like while you were away." Now, I don't know about you. I don't like the while you're away feature at all, but I'm also a Twitter power user, and I'm looking at news all the time, and timestamps are really important to me. I like the order. I don't want my news bundled into something that's more like an overview. But most Twitter users probably aren't like me and are used to something more like Facebook's algorithmic news feed. It's obvious Twitter is trying new things these days. It launched polls, it switched out faves for likes, it switched out stars with hearts, it swapped the moments and the notifications tab. Nobody seems to like that very much, and has also redesigned the photo experience on the web. Let's talk about Yahoo now, and it looks like Yahoo is not going to spin off its 15% stake in e-commerce giant Alibaba. This is according to sources talking to CNBC, who reiterate a recent story that Yahoo wants to sell its core internet business instead, which may include web properties, apps, search, media, its ad business, or any combination of those. Yahoo's decision not to spin off Alibaba certainly has got something to do with that spinoff being heavily taxed, but Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer said back in June that the company would move forward with that spinoff. Now, Yahoo activist shareholder Starboard Value has been pressuring Yahoo to do exactly the opposite and sell its core business instead. That core business is worth somewhere between $3.4 and $4.1 billion. Now, by comparison, Yahoo's Alibaba stake is worth around $32 billion. Yahoo stock was up about 2% in after-hours trading on the report. It's hard to herd a bunch of Angry Birds, turns out. Rovio, the company behind the Angry Birds franchise, has announced CEO Pekka Rantala will step down after just 1 year, with current Chief Legal Officer Kati Leverantala taking over in 2016. Rovio also says its two main units, games and media, will get more independence. This is according to Reuters. A Rovio chairman and major shareholder tells the publication, "We used to have a corporate model with centralized decisions, but that resulted into too slow reacting in very competitive markets." Now, back in October, Rovio laid off about 213 people in a restructure plan to refocus on games and media and consumer products. Rovio has also experimented in other areas, book publishing and attractions like educational playgrounds, along with entertainment-based theme parks. This might all sound a little silly now since Angry Birds is a little long in the tooth, and even if you liked it at one point, you're probably not playing it anymore. Although remember the height of Angry Birds' popularity? Rovio was practically the next Disney. And the times, they do change. That was the report for today. I am Sarah Lane, and thanks to WeWork for letting us camp out in one of their extremely nice conference rooms. You guys should look into it. It's kind of a cool place to work. Crunch Report airs every weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on TechCrunch.com. You can also find us on iTunes and on YouTube as well. And we will be somewhere in London tomorrow. See you then.